Signori, welcome into this new video. Today we are together with an excellent guest, somebody who's a friend, somebody who's a mentor, somebody that has been teaching me things for the past few weeks that literally changed my life. And therefore I'm super excited to have here Mikhail from ASO System. And today we're actually speaking about the topic of performance and how to get to your goals 10x, 50x, 100x faster than you would actually get in any particular scenario by yourself. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I have to say, an amazing gentleman right here, and I'm honored to be on the channel. For those of you who don't know, I've had the pleasure of working with Ty Lopez, Jump Cut Studios, Simple Pickup, Real Social Dynamics, and many other people. And on the topic of performance, to really dig in, the truth is, if you really want to accomplish big things and accomplish a lot in your life, you're going to need all of the energy that you can get. You're going to need every little drop of energy that you can get your hands on. And so the most important thing to ask yourself today, if you're trying to get more performance, is what is the engine that I'm using to drive my performance? Are you using anger to drive performance? Are you using a sense of scarcity and not having enough to drive performance? Are you using something to drive your performance that's not sustainable? So when it comes to going from 10K a month to 100K a month, these big astronomical jumps, often the biggest factor that makes those happen is a switch in the engine and the driver that you're using to tap into the energy to get more energy out of it. It's very easy to get linear performance and get a little bit by optimizing systems, and that's great. But the real quantum leaps in performance that you want to get are going to come from, number one, looking at the engine that you're using to drive your performance forward. Number two, evaluating whether that engine is helping you and giving you more energy or not. And three is, if it is not, switching that engine to a more positive, more sustainable version.
One story that changed completely my perception of performance, that helped me getting so much better on the subject, was something that Mikhail told me actually a few days ago. And that story goes something like this. So I realized that at some point I am very much somebody who is very good at being positive, at being present to the moment, which is exactly what you told me.
Yep.
But something that I haven't quite worked on quite well is literally being able to drive performance and get things done in the same amount of time that I wish to get it done, so actually getting to my goals. So it really made me think about that subject. And I gotta say that right after yourself telling me that, the day right after, I got so many things done simply by realizing that at the end of the day, it's all about tapping into the right energy and using that energy in order to fulfill your goal and get to that point.
Absolutely. I noticed a massive shift in you when you started tapping in, and I think there's a little bit of a fear. So I'm going to break this down. Okay, take a very specific but very powerful energy source, aggression. Okay, so as I'm talking to you here from this point, right, it's very grounded, it's very happy, it's very optimistic, and it's very good for consistency, right? You can kind of stay in this energy. I think of it like kind of swimming at a really long distance. If you have to swim and swim and swim, you can really swim for a really long time. But sometimes, rather than swimming, you have to sprint. And there are a few energies that you can tap into. And one is the aggressive energy. So we'll kind of switch the frame here a little bit, and we'll go into a more aggressive tone. And as you go into a more aggressive energy, what you will realize is there's a sense of urgency that develops, a sense of being here now, a sense of doing it now, a lack of waiting, an actual inability to wait. Now, there's a great fear there. And what that fear says is, if I start driving myself through aggression, through domination, through power, that I will become different from the person I am, and I will lose my sense of integrity, my sense of courage, and my sense of honesty. And there's a right and a wrong way to do this, and this is the conversation that you and I had, right? Where, look, if you're a good person at heart, you can switch the engine up, and you can always go back. But the second thing that you'll realize is that you never quite lose it. You never quite lose that honesty. You never quite lose that integrity. You never quite lose all of those great things that you had. But what tapping into this aggressive mindset does allow you to do is allows you, number one, seize the moment now. It allows you to say, I want that, and go after it. Whereas every other time, from almost any other energy, you would have hesitated, you would have let the moment pass, and you would have wondered, what would have happened if I did that thing? Instead of taking the action. Number two, it allows you to maintain momentum, because when you are in an aggressive state, you are biologically driven to perform. So you're not driving your body with your mind, you're driving your mind with your body. You're putting your body into a state of action, and your mind not only follows it, but it actually supports it. Okay? And number three is you will have this effect known as cascading opportunity, which is when you seize one opportunity, two more open up. And when you seize each of those two, four more open up. And when you seize each of those four, 8 more open up. And then you find yourself in this state of great abundance. So if we're talking about happiness and abundance and being present to the moment, you actually find yourself in a more abundant space by approaching life that way. So I saw that with you in a huge capacity, and you kind of dial in, you become really sharp. And I think what we were talking about was, use the happiness as a fallback system, but test. Don't be afraid to test new paradigms and see what happens, because you might just really, really surprise yourself.
For sure. And the thing with me, I guess, was literally being scared of not being the good person that I want to regard myself as. And therefore kind of lose my level of empathy that is kind of my baseline, which I'm used to, and which at the end of the day, it's nothing else than a comfort zone. And therefore actually realizing that empathy and that being overall a good person, in my opinion, is not going away despite yourself actually tapping into that particular energy, definitely changed my perception on the whole subject. And yeah, it's very much something that I would say that somebody like myself, in my position, being 21 years old, and of course having to do with somebody that is more experienced than me, definitely can learn a lot, and I'm very, very lucky in regards to that. And I feel like a lot of the same people around my age, or even lower, or even older, actually, most likely even older, don't really quite know how to get into that state that will allow you to get all those 15, 20, 25 things out of your day done, simply because, today is another day, and maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not gonna work. And yeah, just realize it. This is the only day that you got. And it's very sad to think about it, but that's the reality.
I don't think it's sad. I think it's kind of beautiful. I think there's something really beautiful in that, if like today was your last day on this earth, what would that look like, and how would you feel about it? I think there's a certain, I think if you had permanence, each day would become cheap. And when you can lose something, it becomes very precious and very, very powerful to have that. I will say, as it comes to just purely performance and execution, so I'll just hammer on this a little bit, from things that I've seen to work. Number one is sequencing. So really pre-sequencing those tasks. So one of my mentors used to tell me, he said, Mikhail, hope is not a strategy. And that's always stuck with me, this idea that, hopefully I wake up motivated tomorrow, or hopefully I get those things done. My true belief is, if you want to get something done, you have to build a system and create an actual environment that guarantees, hello, that it gets done, right? So rather than hoping that it gets done, no, you have to make it get done. It's up to you. It's your life. You're at the driver's seat. Nobody else is going to drive your car for you. You are the only person who can drive your car forward. And so the best way to do that in a sustainable way is to pre-sequence all those things that you want to do. And then all you have to do is focus on the execution. All you have to do then is wake up in the morning and you've got all the things that you want to do, and those things apply to your life purpose. They fulfill you. They move you forward. They make you feel like you're part of something greater. They really make you dialed in to that optimal space that you have between doing something you love, something that you're good at, and something that produces results for other people. And once you dial into that and then sequence and execute, just that simple concept, if you're talking about purely performance, I know so many people that I ask them, I'm like, hey, what are you doing 2 days from now? And they're like, well, I might be doing this, or I might be doing this, or I might be doing this, or I might be doing this. And they're so present to the moment that they're actually kind of missing their moment to shine. This is the way I think of it. So this is the way that I think of it. It's like if you're Michael Jordan, or if you're Lionel Messi, right? Lionel Messi knows what he's doing when it's time for him to play the game. He's not hoping. He is trained. I've given you that example of we don't rise to the level of our expectation, right? We fall to the level of our training. Exactly. And so rather than hoping, make it happen. And the way I would think of this, for those of you that focus on presence, that focus on awareness, is the best way for that presence to shine through is to do the right thing at the right time, because that is when you are living the best version of yourself in that moment.
That is absolutely beautiful, and I can definitely relate to that. I feel like we're being given all this time this idea that being present to the moment, that is definitely correlated to being enlightened. And overall, that is something that I would say it's, at least from a public's perspective, something that is detached from the general idea of that. Being present does not mean being performance driven, or being actually somebody that creates results. And I'm really wondering, why is it has to be that way? Like, we got your example of yourself right here, right now, that can literally show us that you can be present, because I know that you're present, you're focused, you're grounded, and at the same time, you're literally the person that works the hardest that I personally know. And honestly, one of those people that are able to generate an incredible amount of results in very little time, just like this past few weeks have shown us, which is really incredible. And I'm very, very lucky that I decided to take on this endeavor with you. So, this being said, my friend Mikhail over here has a mentoring program where he's gonna be able to mentor you for 12 weeks, personally, over Skype or over calls anyway, and he's gonna be able to teach you anything from how to create a business, on how to scale a business, and how to actually start selling products that will actually get you to your goals when it comes to your finances. So if you're focused and if you feel ready, use a 30 minutes free consultation call that is absolutely amazing, and is gonna give you all the tools in order to be able to decide if you wanna take on this endeavor with you. So, this being said, please make sure to follow this gentleman on YouTube at Hustle System. And this is it for me. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just as a final point, to take the time for yourself, because so much of performance is creating performance for others. I feel in the marketplace, and there's all these kind of elements of pushing yourself to a very strong limit. And just my last point would be, don't forget about yourself in the process. Stay present to who you are, right? This particle of energy that inhibits this body that you're in, that gets to stay on this earth for some time. And really take the time to acknowledge the beauty in that and enjoy it. And don't hesitate to just enjoy something for no other reason than because you enjoy it. I think that's really important. And obviously the performance aspect, utilize the things in this video, and just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on. You've been an amazing influence in my life. I've met some really next level people, and for where you are in life, you're truly a wise person, and you've truly made a positive impact on me, and I believe that you'll make a huge impact on every single person watching for many, many years to come. I'm just very humbled and grateful for having the opportunity.
Dude, that's amazing. Make sure to follow this incredible guy on YouTube, Hustle System. The link is gonna be in the description. This has been it for me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with the next video. Alla prossima, ciao!